Today we are going to implement Spring Boot web application with the CRUD operation, and also there will be login part also. For example, this will be employee management system, simple one. So for the styling I am using Bootstrap, then after by using Spring Boot and also MySQL database we will implement this one. So first I will do the demonstration. Here you can see we have admin login. Then after when I enter correct username and password, I will be able to log into the system. So here we don't have any information in the database. I'm going to add a new employee. For example, employee name will be solo developer. Then after jacksd@gmail.com. When I click save employee, on that time it will be added into the database, right? So after that there will be update operation. You can add multiple values into the system. I'm going to cut this one and paste that here. We'll do the updation part. You can see now last name is updated, right? So then after we have delete operation, it will delete the whatever things available in the database based on the selected query. After that there will be a logout request. So this is a simple Spring Boot application. We move into the advanced one later. So okay, so we'll start with the video. Now we will create our Spring Boot project. Go to create new Spring Starter project. So here I am using Spring Toolsuite. You can use any editor based on your requirement. Project name will be employee management system. You can use any name. Type will be Maven. Then other things will be same. I'm not going to change. Our version, my one is 25, latest one. Then you need to add the dependencies. You can search here and add MySQL driver, Spring Web, Spring Data JPA, Timeleaf for the front-end connection, Spring Security for the secure login. So MySQL for the database. Okay, now we need to create the project. Here you can see it is loading files from the internet. So after that, project structure will be, there will be two controllers for the login and employee management. First I'm going to create that two. Will be Java classes, employee controller. So inside employee class, employee package. Right, so first we will code this one. I'm going to zoom this little bit, otherwise you can't see this one. First we will move with the employee controller, then after we'll create the other things, right? So this is a controller, because of that we are going to use annotation controller. Control Shift M, it will import the particular package. So library is imported. Then I am going to make request for this control, request mapping. Then after URL will be employee. Whenever user type /employee in the URL, on that time it will navigate into this particular website. Right. So now we need private employee service variable. Right, so we need this employee service class. So this employee service actually, so we are going to create this interface, right? We are going to create this interface. So we'll create a new package, new class, employee service. This is employee service, right? Then after package will be service, package will be service, right? So that's it. Actually here it should be controller package name. Here I place employee by mistake, because we have employee control inside controller package. So actually I will create this one again, because otherwise you will be confused. I will delete this one. and we'll create a package again. So new class name will be employee controller. Inside demo.controller package. So this annotation is a controller. Then after request mapping, Control Shift M, it will automatically import. Otherwise you can hover when you can import /employee. Okay, so we'll create the private employee service class. We already created this interface. Inside this interface, I'm going to create some method. List employee get all employees. So we are going to implement this CRUD method, right? For that, all the employees will be written as a list. Then at void save employee, we are going to add new employee into the database. So after that, employee get employee by ID, long ID. By using ID, we are going to get the employee from the database, MySQL database table. Then after delete employee by ID, long ID. Right, so these things are here. Now you can see we can import list, no issue, java.util.list, but still we can't import employee because there is no class with the name employee. This is a class. So we need to create model class with the name employee. So we'll create that one here. A new class employee, package will be model. Right, so I'm going to use annotation entity. If you want, you can add the table name also. So when we add the entity, after we connect MySQL database, it will create the table with this name. So then I'm going to add some attribute, private long ID. Private string last name, private string email. So I have 4 variables. So I'm going to create getters and setters for this one. You can right click, then I'll go to source, generate getters and setters. Select all the attribute, then after generate. Right, now we have employee class. Again, we will move back into employee service method. Now we can import employee model. Right, now there is no errors in this one, but this is interface, right? If there is any interface, we need to implement that interface to use that method. For that, we are going to create a class inside the service package. Class, so name will be employee service. Employee service, this one will be implementation class. So we can use implement employee service. Then after, it will ask to add unimplemented method. All that the unimplemented methods will be auto generated. Then after, we can complete the body section. Here we will return employee, all the employees, right? And for that also we need to make a database connection. Private employee repository. I'm going to create employee repository class. Then after, there will be employee repo. So service is a business logic between our database and controller. So database, to connect database we are using one repository class. Now we will create the repository class also. So after creating repository class, you can see there will be a connection with the database tables, right? There will be some method get by id, find by id kind of methods will be there. New class employee repository. So package will be repository. So this is again interface. Actually you can right click here and you can select the interface also. So I have selected the class. This will extends JPA repository. We already include Spring JPA. So dependency, now we are going to import that one. So employee will be model and data type of the primary key will be long. Employee model, primary key data type will be long. I will expand this one. Here I don't need this one, right? Okay, employee control shift M, then after JPA repository, import JPA repository, controls S, save. Now we'll move back into here, again import repository. Now it is somewhat okay, right? Now implementation class is somewhat okay. So we are going to use this auto-wired annotation. When you hover over, it will show import auto-wired, right? Now that one is import. So what is happening here? You can see the definition makes a constructor field setter method. The config method has to be a auto-wired by Spring dependency injection. You can see the definition, right? So after that, get all employees, return employee repo dot find all. It will return all the queries from the database table. If there is one query, it will return. If there is 100 query, it will return all the rows as the list of employees from the employee table. After that, save employee. It is not going to return anything. It will do is this dot employee repo dot save. It is save into the database. So this one is what? This one return. This one will be save. You can see the method name. Now get employee by ID. Actually this one for the update method, because we need to find the employee by using ID. For that we will create the optional employee object is equal to employee repo dot find by ID. ID will be long ID. So here I use optional because sometimes there won't be an employee with this given ID. That's why we are using optional. Otherwise there will be exception error. So now we will create a new employee object equal to null empty object. Then at if optional dot is present, if there is any value is there, any query is there, then new employee object will be equal to optional dot get. It will get that values. Otherwise we will throw the exception. Employee not found for ID, then not we can print the ID number. So whatever ID we are passing here, if there is no employee, it will throw this exception. Otherwise this method will return ID, not ID, employee, to return employee. Okay, so we have another method which is known as delete employee by id. This dot employee repo dot delete by id. Delete by id. Right, so this is our employee service implementation class, right? You have to code this one correctly. So this one we made using employee service interface. So here we have method, it will interface will be implemented inside this implementation class. Right, I'm going to close this one and service class also. Then after repository also this one, right? There won't be any other code. So then after we have employee object. So and actually in the employee object I need to make this as the id, right? So this employee will be a id attribute. For that you can use id annotation. Then after this will be a generated value, auto generated id. Generated value strategy will be equal to generation type dot identity. Okay, so that's it. Now we have entity, then not id and other things. And also when it comes to service implementation, so this is a service class, right? So you need to mention annotation with the name service. So this is a service class. Business logic will be here. Now this is a controller. So we will code the controller part. When it comes to controller, first I'm going to create the service class object. Employee service. And also this will be auto hire. Right, so we'll create the first method. That means public. I'm going to create this one as a string view home page. So model dot add attribute. So if there's any request for the list employees on that time, it will show this one, right? So all the employees in the database will be shown in the home page. So we'll create the home page also. First we'll do the backend, then after we'll move into the home page. Employee service dot then after get all employees. So this is the method which we create in the employee service class. And import correct one org.spring framework. Right, so after that we can return page. Page will be with the name index. Right, view home page mean it will be index page. So I'm going to add mapping for this one. This will be a get request. That means not the encrypted one. Slash. For the home request, it will show the index page. That means slash employee. It will show the index page. Then not a public string. So whenever user want to add a new employee, it will call this method. model dot add attribute, then after attribute will be employee, so actually I will use the same name and then it will be easier for you, employee. After that we can return new employee. So there will be a HTML file with the name new employee. So we'll add the get mapping again. So get mapping will be show new employee form. Okay, so that's it. Then now we will move into the update and delete method. Okay, so I will create update method here. So before that we will create save employee method. So we are going to add new employee, right? So I'm going to use attribute. This will be model attribute with the name. We'll use name as employee. Actually we will remove this one. So then after employee service dot save employee return, so we redirect into the home page. Right, so after saving that means after adding a new employee we redirect into the home page. Then after we can create the update method. So form for update. So method name we can give like this. Then after we will use path variable. Value will be equal to ID. Okay, then now we will return. Before that I'm going to create employee. Employee will be equal to employee service dot get employee by ID. So we got ID here. So after that model dot add attribute. Okay, then now we can return edit employee. So here we got path variable. Here also we can use model attribute. Right, so we have created show new employee form, then after save employee, then after show form for update, that means update method. Now I'm going to add mapping for the save employee first. This will be post mapping because there will be some confidential information. So after that, this will be get mapping because we are sending ID only. Form. So show form update. Now we are sending the ID as the parameter path variable. Okay, so finally we can create the delete employee page. Path variable value will be equal to ID. Long ID. Then under this dot employee service dot delete employee by ID. So finally we can redirect after completion this one into employee page. That means to the home page. Okay, so backend employee control is now going to complete. So we'll put get mapping delete employee with the ID. As the path variable, we are getting ID. Okay, so that's fine. Now we have this control method. You can check this one and then now you can complete the coding. Now I'm going to create the login controller because we have login method also. Login controller. So default request will be come into this one. Public string login return page login. There will be a page with the name login. And get mapping will be /login. So after that, public string home page, again return home. So get mapping will be /. So that's it. Now, so finally for the backend, we need to create our security class, right? Okay, we have semicolon issue here. Okay, now I'm going to create what? So this one is for the public homepage, not employee homepage. So if there is no login, that means user is not logged in, then now it will show the home page. If user is logged in, it will show the index.html, that means dashboard page. Okay, so we'll create the security method also. So I'm going to create name as a security config inside the config Java class. So we can use annotation configuration. And also enable web security. Right. So then not we'll create public password encoder. return new, bcrypt password encoder. This will be a bean. So annotation bean is not allowed, right? So we got password encoder. Let's see bean encoder. Okay, so we are getting error with the beam. Let's see why we are getting that one. So we have context.annotation.beam. Okay, I will check that one later. So we'll move into the next method. Actually, I think I missed the dependence, right? So let me check this one. Right, so I'm getting errors in the bean. Reason is I think I haven't configured my application.properties method. So application.properties file. So we'll complete that one. Then not we will see. Still we are getting the bean error. So we are using application.properties file for what? To connect with the MySQL database. Right. So here we will mention spring.jpa.hibernate properties dot dialect dot MySQL dialect spring.jpa.properties dot hibernate dot dialect. Then after we'll do auto update for DDL spring jpa dot hibernate dot DDL auto will be update. Then not username and password for the MySQL database spring dot data source dot URL which will be equal to jdbc colon mysql colon 3306. So if you change your localhost, port on something else from 3306, you have to mention that one here. By default it is 3306. Then another you can give your database name. My one is employeedb. Then I'll use SSL. We can make it as a false, and server time zone will be UTC. Okay, so after that spring dot data source dot username will be my one root, password also root. Then driver class name spring dot driver class name will be com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver. Okay, this is it. Now we'll move into the security class. Okay, so first we will run our project, then not we will test the, then not we will configure this security config method. Okay, to run you can right click on your project, then go to run as Spring Boot application. So I got error unknown database employee DB. So because I haven't created the employee DB database, employee DB. So I'm using MySQL workbench. So now I'm going to create database employee DB. So create database employee DB to create the database. If I refresh, you can see now we have employee DB, but there are no tables. Now we'll run this project again. Okay, now password is generated, that's fine. So if you navigate into the this website URL, localhost 8080, it will show this page by default login page. Okay, now we will configure the security page. That means our security config class, right? So I'm going to add all the details into this security config class. Public password encoder, return new, okay, now bean is working, right? So because when you run, it will create hibernate, then after that bean also everything is working. Now public, now we are going to create the URL. That means with the after login you can access this URL. Without login you can't access this URL. Like that we are going to mention. Security filter chain, then after method name TTP security, then this will throw errors, that means exception. Control Shift M, it will import. Right, now http dot, I'm going to add authorize http request. So this will be, there will be multiple requests. Request matches. So first one will be slash root, then after slash home. So we'll permit all. So always these two things are accessible. For the employees, anything with the employee's URL has role with the name admin. Any request authenticate. We need to authenticate all other requests. Okay, so after that, form login. This will be our login page URL. And our default success URL will be slash permit all. Okay, so after that I'm going to create logout also. Logout URL. Be root dot permit all. So we have form login, then after bracket is missing. Okay, now it is fine. Then now we can return http.build. Okay, so this one is complete. I will make this as bean. And finally, now we can create the admin username and password. Because we aren't using database for this one, public password encoder, password encoder, user details will be admin will be equal to user dot builder. Then username will be admin. You can use any name. Here I'm going to use username as admin. Then password will be password encoder dot encode password. You can use anything, but I'm going to use password. You can use 1 2 3 3 4 5 6 any other password. Then our roles will be admin. So here we have mentioned the role. So with the admin role, they can access employees and other following URL. Return new database manager. Okay, now it is complete, right? So now our backend complete. We can move into the front end of our website. If we refresh, we have this website. Still this one is not working because we haven't created the front end page. So we'll create the front end page and then we will try. Right, so this is our security config class. You can check and you can type. So these are the allowed one. This will be allowed only for the admin. So for the admin, username will be admin, password will be password. If you want, you can use 1 2 3. You can use anything, but here I'm going to use password. Okay, so we'll start with the HTML page. First I'm going to create home.html file. So after that we'll move into the remaining file. So template folder, create a file with the name home.html. Okay, so here what I'm going to use is I'm going to create doc type HTML. Employee home page. Right, so here there will be some h1 and paragraph tag. Then after there will be a button to login. So I'm going to use Bootstrap for this one, and also Timely for the link navigation. So first we will get the Bootstrap link, then after we'll start the coding. You can search Bootstrap CDN, then after you can navigate in this particular website. So after that you can copy these two links. So first one is for the CSS, second one for the script. So CSS on the header section, that means here, and a script will be after the end of your body section. Right, now you have placed the Bootstrap CSS and script link. Okay, let's create a background color for this one. Class we can use background light. This will be container. Margin y-axis will be 5. Background white will be white color. Then after there will be a border. It will be rounded, and I'm going to add shadow small. And then now we can add h1 tag with the class. Display will be size 4. Margin bottom margin will be 4, and text color will be primary. So welcome to the employee management system. employee management system. So after that, I'm going to add the paragraph. Margin bottom for access the employee record and management tools by logging in as an admin. Right, this is a simple project, but when it comes to complex project, that means very large scale project. So we aren't going to put the login button like this. Okay, I'm going to put a link. So we are using timelib th href will be. So our URL name we given /login. Class will be equal to button primary, button large shadow. So this is for the admin login. Text will be muted. So we can add a CRUD application built with Spring Boot and Timeleaf. Okay, so this is it. Now we'll run our web application and let's see whether we can access this particular home.html website. It is empty request. It will navigate in the home.html, and this is we create now. When I click admin, it need to navigate in the login.html page. Okay, let's create that one also. Now I'm going to create login.html page. New file login.html. Actually, we'll copy this header and footer and we'll remove middle section. Right, now we have copied employee login. So I'm going to add the division. We'll create the class. We will add some style for this one. ID, display flex, justify content center, align items also, sender. Okay, so I'm going to create an division with the class name. For this one, we'll use card title. For the login, I'm going to create a card, bootstrap card. Text center, text color will be primary, margin bottom will be 4. We create this as h2 element. Then not we'll add admin login. Actually, I'm going to include this inside division. We'll cut and put a division with the class name card body. Okay, now h2 element is fine. Then now we will create a form to get username and password. Time leaf action will be when we submit this form. Send the request to login. Method will be post. Label for username. Then class will be form label. Input type will be text. ID will be username. And name also will be username. Class will be form control. This is a required section. So then how do we create another division for the password? I'm going to add class form label password. Name and ID will be password. Type also password. And class will be form control. And this one also required field. Okay, then now we can add the button here, right? So after completing this one, you can add the login button. I'm going to put a division. Button type will be equal to submit. Button primary, and also this will be a large button. Login. So after that, so if you want, you can show default password, but I'm not going to show that one here. For the admin, we use username as admin and password as a password. Okay, let's see whether we can see this in our browser. Now we have login page, but the page is not loading. We'll stop this and rerun our project. Okay, now it is working, right? So I'm going to align this into the center. So you can see it is showing in the top container. For that, we can use this login container class. Height will be 100% viewport height. Actually, we need to rerun to get the update. I think we got error, right? Yeah, we got error. Let's see. I'm going to stop this one. Then how do we rerun? Okay, now there is no errors. Refresh. Admin login. Okay, now login is fine. So I'm going to enter admin and name as a password. So now still we haven't created any the CRUD operation page. So next we are going to create the CRUD operation page. For that we will use the part 2 of this video, because this is a long video. I'm going to move into part 2 for the remaining section. And also I will link this entire project as a GitHub link. You can download and practice by yourself.